one big name player to release?
I would say Venki Iyer because they bought him for 23.75 crores. That's a lot of money. They would definitely want him in a setup quality player, but for a lesser price.
Nokia possibly because he's on 6.5 crores. They can think of releasing him.
Venkatesh Iyer, 23.5 crore. That's a lot of money. If you're going to bat him at 5, then it's not really good for a return on investment.
One player who didn't live up to expectations.
I would say Venki and Rinku.
Probably Rinku Singh. Given their troubles at the top order, he had a few opportunities where he would have had more balls than he has had in previous seasons to really have an impact, but failed to do so.
You can choose one between Quinton de Kock and Rahmanullah Gurbaz because they let go of Salt. They had 2 wicket-keeping options. Both openers, both could actually tonk the ball, and both could not.
Biggest reason for KKR not making the playoffs?
A very inconsistent middle order. Again, Rinku, Venki were fighting form throughout the season, which just couldn't propel them into the playoffs.
I think their top order, I think there's a lot of similarity between the style of batting that they had in their top order, and they just didn't have the blend of real impact players with those anchored players.
I would say underutilization of resources could be the reason.
I think their batting order and the inability to figure out the right number for the batters that they had.
Do they need a change in captain?
Yes, I think they do need a change in captain because Ajinkya Rahane has historically not had the best record in the IPL as captain.
I think it's something they'll definitely consider. Rahani's a very fine captain, there's no question about that, but you can't help but feel that that was an afterthought.
I don't think so because Ajinkya Rahane did a good job for them, and he was never found wanting in his primary role as a batsman as well.
They could possibly end up resisting that temptation because Ajinkya Rahane is actually a good captain. For Rahane to stay there as a captain, he must start open.
One bright spark of the season?
I mean, it's hard to pick a bright spot for KKR, but I would say Varun Chakravarti. He stayed consistent, got wickets, and also kept his economy really low.
Well, I'd like to find a bright spark, but to be honest with you, Raghavanshi didn't get to 300 runs. Rahane did, but there was no real outstanding performance from any of their players, and that probably reflects where they are on the table.
Varun Chakravarti, he continued his wicket-taking spree in the IPL.
I'll have to go with Ankrish Raghuvanshi, a batter who looks very composed, batted at different numbers, but was very, very impressive.
One type of player KKR need to target.
They need a domestic wicketkeeper who can also open. Ishan Kishan is batting at number 3 for Sunrisers, which is not his spot. Get him into KKR and see him flourish.
A domestic wicketkeeper of quality that can enable them to have a little bit more flexibility with their overseas picks.
I think an overseas pace bowling all-rounder could be an ideal mix, and it could also act as an option for replacement for Andre Russell if at all he's not available.
They need a keeper who can bat at 5, 6 or 7. So that's one missing cog in their wheel.